Hey everybody, I just picked up this new airbrush. This is the Black Widow from Spectrum. Got it from Harbor Freight for $70. Saw this at the SEMA show and really wanted to test it out. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to unbox it, we're going to review it, we're going to paint with it, we're going to do all of that, and we're going to find out, is it worth $70 or not? Alright guys, so here is the Black Widow by Spectrum. Now this is distributed through Harbor Freight Tools. So that is the only place that you can get it that I know of. I did not see any on Amazon or anything like that. I just picked this up and heard a lot about it through the SEMA show. And for those who don't know, that I used to actually paint motorcycles and cars and stuff, so I still keep up with that sort of show. And it's a really good thing to see things like this that are out there. So in the box, this is what this thing comes with. It comes with two different needle sizes, 0.2 and 0.3 millimeters. Also comes with two different cups also. Now what I am looking forward to is this trigger mechanism here is a little different than what I'm used to. And it also has a different couple of outlets right here. But let's look on the back here. You got, again, the interchangeable reservoirs, the easy removal cup lid, of course, the cam style trigger, so that's going to be kind of unique to look at. And then it also has your 1/8 quick connect and your multiple air caps and needles included for a variety of projects. So I'm anxious to open it up and see what that's about. So let's go ahead and get this thing open here and let's take out what is inside. All right, so you can see right off the bat, we got a nice carrying case right here with the Black Widow emblem on it. Nice little plastic carrying case to keep it in. It's got your little lock, slide lock on here. So let's go ahead and open this thing up, see what's inside. All right, so right here is the Black Widow from Spectrum. Now you got your different needles here and your different tips right here as well. You got your two different cups. This looks like maybe a container of lube. Then you got your connector right here as well. So let's go ahead and take it out. It's got that nice black matte finish here. This thing is really kind of got some weight to it, which I really like. It's not top heavy by any means. I do like the fact that it's ergonomic here. So when you are painting, won't give you too much of a pain on the tip of your finger here. All right, I like that wide spray pattern right there on the end of that right there. That looks pretty neat. So you got your air control valve right here. You also got your regulator right here, your fluid regulator. And so the cups here, well, they're not stainless, but they're definitely some type of aluminum in here, so they should be easy to clean here. Again, the same on the inside. It's an aluminum finish. It does look like a little bit of paint right there. So I imagine after you put enough thinner in that thing, it'll probably come off. My curiosity is with this matte finish on here, the more you use it with thinners and different things like that, will that actually paint come off or will it stay? So I'm going to go ahead and put the larger container on it. All right, so here we go. Nice feel to it. It's nice and heavy. You might want to go with the smaller one here. I see the finger kind of getting in the way a little bit of that right there when you're trying to position it. But it looks like it would be okay. As you can see the needle right there. I'm assuming that this is the 0.3 that they have in here. So this is the 0.2 needle right here. So this is the different tip that comes with it. And this is your coupler here for the connect. I will have a quick connect, so I'll actually use my old one whenever I hook this one up. So the retail on this was $69.99 at Harbor Freight. When I did go get it, I did have to get them to look in the back. I checked online to make sure my local store actually had it in stock first, and they did not have it on the shelf or anything. They may be having some transition, but they had to get it out of the back. So yeah, there's also a Black Widow compressor that actually you can get with this as well. I did not get it because I already have two compressors, but their compressor actually is $199.99, which is a little steep, but it does have dual connectors, so you can hook up two airbrushes at the same time on it. And it also has two different pressure regulators, so it's definitely got some weight to it. I actually like that. I know a lot of people like a lighter airbrush. I actually like a little bit heavier one because when I'm using it, it stays a little bit more stable in my hand compared to a lighter one that can kind of jump around a little bit whenever you're trying to do fine detail lining or whatever. So I'm going to take this one off here actually, and I'm going to put the smaller one on, and we're going to load this thing up and try and do some spraying here, see what kind of detail lines we can get, so on and so forth, and kind of work with it a little bit. It is actually easier to put on. There we go. It's actually easier to put on than what it looks like. Yeah, that's much better, I think, for the finger positioning here. And I don't use these lids very much. Some people put them on there and shake up their paint and stuff. If they want to do that, that's fine. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing connected up, and we're going to check it out and see what kind of let's see what kind of control we have on it. Let's see what kind of craftsmanship. Looks great, but let's see what kind of damage we can do with it. All right, everybody, let's see what kind of coverage we can get on this. Let's see what kind of lines we can get. Whether we can pull down a really tight line out of a 0.3, or was going to need a 0.2, or can we even do it at all? So let's just see how it sprays. Actually, let's see if it sprays pretty fluid, and let's just go ahead and just put a couple of little lines on here. All right, so it does seem a little consistent. Don't have a lot of splattering or whatever. I imagine if you don't use this dual action to your advantage, you can have some splattering. So let's see what we can do as far as any tight lines here. Let's see what kind of detail we can get here. All right, so that's my fault right there. But yeah, it looks like some pretty decent lines. Let's see if we can get any more detailed here. So you can get in pretty good. Let's see about a little bit of splatter and stuff in there, and that could be again because of myself. So you can actually see a little bit of a nice little detail pattern there. A lot of this is because I haven't done tight lines like this in forever. So we're getting a little bit here. There's that splatter I was talking about earlier. If you don't use that dual action like that, you can have issues with it. All right, so one thing I do like to do, I kind of do like to do a continuous loop here, just to see if we're getting any skipping or anything like that. So usually that consists of something to like this. You can move back and forward to see different depths that you can get. And I don't have any inconsistent skips right there. Or a lot of times I'll just start doing some cursive sort of things to make sure you don't have any inconsistencies in there as well. But it does seem like it does get a good flow, consistent flow here. And it does seem like we can do a little bit of tight lines in here. So, I mean, pretty consistent on that. What I want to try it out on, I want to try it on a model. So I got the perfect model for that. Let's check it out. So I have been working on this 1/3 scale Punisher here by Wicked 3D, and just got the white on here, and I wanted to see how tight I can get it when I airbrush into here. And believe it or not, that's usually how I gauge how fine of a detail an airbrush can go. Now I am going to have to probably hand paint all this back in, but again, I want to see how close I can get to the edge without going into overspray or anything like that, and how fluid this whole thing is actually going to be. So let's try it out. So I can get pretty tight with it, and to be honest with you, it flows really, really, really nice. and I'm not getting any overspray on this. So I might be able to do this simply by airbrushing, which would be ultra cool. So I don't know if you could see that edge right there, but that is pretty tight to get onto there. So I am really digging the fluidity of this right here and how close you can get on it. I actually have my paint a little too thin. As you can see, it kind of splattering a little bit, but you get the idea. Pretty cool. I don't know why, but I always like to test it by doing that. All right, guys, so let's weigh out the pros and cons with this. I've been experimenting with it for just a little bit, and let's talk about some of the pros. Number one, the price. For $70, this is a very nice airbrush, especially to get you started. So I'm not one to go out and spend $250 on an airbrush. I really don't think personally they make that much difference. And until Harder and Steenbeck send me one to try out and prove me otherwise, then this is probably what I'm going to go with, something a little bit less expensive. The other thing is these needle sizes. You get two different types of needles and tips with it, in a 0.2 and a 0.3. Also, the different cup sizes is a plus. Now, the one thing that makes it all the better for me personally is the ergonomic trigger. I really like how this goes, flows together, and it's a little bit easier on your fingertip. Now, I have seen the pistol grip Black Widows as well. I did not pick one of these up, but these are really nice to have just in case you're doing a lot of primering or a lot of bigger pieces. That way it just doesn't kill your fingertip. And in case you're wondering what a pistol grip looks like, it looks something like this. The other thing that I like about it is the weight of it. It has a perfect balance as far as I'm concerned. I like my airbrushes a little heavier, a little bit more durable. Some people may like them a little lighter. I find that you get a little bit more control out of a heavier airbrush. So now let's talk about a couple of the cons. The first concern that I have is the needle replacement or the tip replacement. Now, considering this comes from Harbor Freight, I'm not exactly sure if they're going to stock these replacements on the website or in the store. I have not seen them yet. It is an unusual spray tip in itself, so I don't think anything really on the market is very compatible with it. So I'm sure that they would have to come up with something. The other concern I have is the paint job. Now, I don't know if this thing is like powder coated on or whatever, but I'm assuming that maybe, just maybe, if you use a lot of different thinners and stuff like that on here, that this paint will eventually scratch or start to fade off of here. It's such a nice paint job, and that would be a shame for it to do that. And then my last concern is just overall parts for this. Now, if something happens where the trigger breaks or you need some type of like something for an airflow knob or something like that, where do you actually get it? Now, in the owner's manual here, there is a technical number that you can call. I'm assuming that maybe they will give you direction for parts, or this has some sort of warranty on them. Again, it is by Harbor Freight. I've had good success with them offering replacements and overall answering questions and stuff on their products. So, but some of their products are not really all that great. So maybe that's something to be concerned about as far as getting parts for it. I don't know yet. We'll see down the road. This is a new product, so who knows? All right, everybody, that is the end of the video. I hope this helps you in your decision making on your next airbrush. As you can see, I have some painting I have to do here for the next video for you guys. So it is time to get back at it. Stay safe out there. Don't forget, get out and create something. Print, prep, paint, repeat. And until the next video, we'll see you.